My name is Daphne because I am the oldest of five in my family. I also help my family manage the farm business from the marketing side and perhaps also the growing side of it. I also have a degree of Bachelor of Science in Agriculture with a concentration in agronomy. So, and I kind of use that as well to help my family's business grow and understanding from like the growing side and also just like the customer side, but kind of just putting my knowledge that I've learned throughout my 4 years of college and internships into what we are doing in real life. Our farm is located in Cleveland, Texas. It's about 49 miles northeast of Houston. And we mainly grow seasonal vegetables using organic practices. So we don't really use any pesticides, don't use any chemicals. Sometimes we might use chicken manure, but if we do that, then we also make sure that our chicken are fed healthy so that we can still use the waste to grow our vegetables. We also sell our vegetables either at the farmers market, or for the time being, not so much because of the COVID issue, but we directly sell to our customers home deliveries or pickups in different locations. So pretty much the story behind Agricola Family Farm is my dad pretty much started growing vegetables or farming when we were living in a Congo. Well, I wasn't born back then because he was still 15 years old by the time he started doing that. And he had the help of his stepfather and also the Catholic community in the area to help him with seeds and chickens, like baby chicks or just other animals that he could raise in order to make money. And the profit that he used to make was either to help himself pay for clothes, for food, because his mom wasn't always around. So that was kind of a way of taking care of himself and also paying for his school fees. And so he did that until he met my mom. And about around 1999, 1998, we had the Civil War that broke in the Congo, which forced my family to flee to Ivory Coast around 1999. My dad went first in order to avoid any conflicts because at the time there used to be conflicts between the military and the soldiers who were also going after men in order to recruit them to be soldiers as well in the rebel groups also. And we joined him later. So being in Cote d'Ivoire, we didn't have any way of making money, and that was pretty much farming again here came very pretty handy in order to just kind of feed ourselves, being able to pay for rent, which definitely wasn't too easy. And we had about perhaps 500 square footage of land that we used to grow a little bit of vegetables and also raise a couple chickens that will let grow until they can reach perhaps 10 pounds or more, kind of like almost like we'll say the size of a turkey in order to sell it at a better price. And they also made eggs, so which we either had for breakfast or we could sell it to people. That was pretty much the first place we lived in Ivory Coast while we were looking for the refugee status with the UNHCR back then. And once we got the refugee status and we were approved for it, we were able to be relocated in another part of the city in Ivory Coast where we had about roughly 4 or 5 acres of land where dad could grow more vegetables. And at that moment, we were even able to supply vegetables to the offices of the UNHCR or to the refugees from our country. Sometimes we will sell it to them, sometimes we'll just donate it because we understood what it meant to be living in a different country, especially when you're so far away from back home. And we lived in Ivory Coast pretty much from the 1999 until 2010. And then in 2010, May 20th, we moved to the United States. I think just like any refugees or any immigrant coming here, it's not easy. And once again, farming was pretty much a way for us to pick up our feet off the floor and just being able to provide for the family. So over time, my dad was able to train with an organization, nonprofit organization who help refugees here in the Houston area. He learned with them for about a year or so before we could actually launch our own farm or just our own farm business, just in general. and which pretty much started again in 2013. We were able to grow our own vegetables, find our own customers, and provide CSA, which we actually had no idea it was called CSA back then. It was pretty much new. So you're learning the language and you're also learning terminology from different places. So then we did that for about 2013 all the way to 2016 in Houston. Then we moved to Cleveland in around 2015, 2016. There, the land was pretty much new. We had to learn about the soil. It was quite difficult, I would say, for the first 2 years. It still is because we experienced different things during the seasons, the hot season, the cold seasons, but we just go with the flow in learning what works best for that soil. Now, sharing our history for us, or at least for me, is very important when it comes to finding new customers and new people who are interested in our farm. And one is definitely educating or feeding the customer curiosity. Most of our customers like to know who we are, where we come from, and I think just them knowing our history makes them want to come back, I would say, or they appreciate in some ways the difficulties, the challenges that we met throughout our life journey. And definitely we did not give up, but we just kind of found our way through it. They got to know who we are on a very personal level, I would say, because some of them, it's like we are actually creating family. They understood us. They know why we're doing the things that we do. And plus, at the same time, too, the more they know about us, the more it made them come back to get vegetables from us, either from the farmer's market or just visiting the farm as well. Building the online brand for Agricola Family Farm, I personally believe is very important. One, because some of the key points I like to think of is definitely being authentic with our customers. And again, that goes back to just knowing who we are, why we grow what we're doing, what we are adding to the table. But it makes them really understand us on a deeper level, because the more you know about your farmer, the more you want to come back and just, buy from them and support them, especially when they are local. And I think that's how our customers feel. And sharing our history with them just makes them more supportive of our decisions, or sometimes even when we have hard times at the farm or with the family, they're even able to help. For example, there was one time when my brother had an accident with an eye and he could not see, and we couldn't afford any, how would you say this? We couldn't afford the glasses or his new pair of glasses or the surgeries, but many customers actually came to help fundraise money in order for my brother to go through the hospital and through all of that. And someone even paid for his new pair of glasses, which, if they didn't know who we were or just our story or why we are farming, they wouldn't have, been able to just push and give a hand and help us go through these difficult times. And again, showcasing the farm for us, we're putting ourselves out there. We're constantly trying to find new ways, or at least I am trying to find new ways to bring new customers in all the time. Because when it comes to business, some customers will either leave for a moment and then some will come back. Sometimes they will stay for a very long time and they might just decide it's not good for them anymore. So we always have to find a way to look for customers in order to, grow our profit and grow our farm business in order to stay in the business and make money, which in turns help provide for my family, because farming for us is the backbone of the family. That's how pretty much my parents make the profit. So it's very important for people to understand where we come from, why we grow the vegetables, what we are growing, either it's seasonal or the practices that we are using to provide the food to them. I was sharing our brand online. At first, I didn't know. And again, we had just come here in 2010. So there is a lot I had to learn within the past 10 years or so. If you have to count the time I was in high school to the time I went to college, which I think going to college really helped me understand so much more about agriculture in general, which really helped here, because I didn't know, that I had to use a Facebook page in order to showcase the farm or advertise our products or, selling our vegetables online. And we are able to do this now through our website or just, the Barn to Door website and the store that we have now that we are able to sell the vegetables with. And frankly, it does help more because if we're able to reach more people without doing too much work. It's like pretty much at the push of a button. You can just kind of like recruit more customers. But, it's like you can connect all the accounts. You say, for example, your Facebook to your Instagram. So when you're posting a photo on Instagram, it goes directly to Facebook. So you pretty much don't have to do too much work. Just in the push of a button, and you get one photo into different places at once. The way communication is very important, I would say, when it comes to just any business in general. And I will say that because I've had great feedback from my customers. And I'm sure you've realized by now, perhaps by the first pictures you saw at first in the slides, I am expecting during a couple weeks from now. And, for example, there was just a couple weeks ago, I wasn't able to do deliveries because my current situation, I did not get to reach out to customers on time to let them know. And all of them emailed me that day to ask me, hey, Daphne, what's going on? Why do we not have any vegetables? We know you do. Is there anything wrong? Is there a problem? And so, I just explained to them that I wasn't feeling well and then I had to go to the doctor. So time just went by so fast. I didn't even get to do all of this. And the response I got from one of them was, well, we just want to make sure you're okay because you always communicate with us ahead of time. So for us to not know where you were and what was going on kind of just like made us worry about you. So again, like when you communicate with your buyers and your customers regularly, either through email or social media, they create that relationship with you, but then it also makes them want to come back every time to, to start to buy vegetables or even tell their customers or their friends, actually, excuse me, their friends about you, their family, that, hey, there's this business here. They're awesome. They communicate so well. They tell me whenever the delivery is going to be here, when it's being dropped off. So you should sign up with them. You should take some vegetables from them and support them locally as well. And in that way too, I get to share the new vegetables sometimes that we get. Excuse me. Like I am from where we live or where I'm from. Our vegetables sometimes are a bit different because we grow vegetables that pretty much are acquainted to the tropical weather. So in order to and we're able to grow some of it here, which is not quite easy, but we try. But then at the same time, I always try to find an opportunity to include those vegetables in our farm, sure, either weekly or every other week or so. And that just makes the customer, kind of wonder, hey, what is this? Or how can I cook with this? Is this new? I always try to share my recipes with them. Like you can make a tea out of this, or you can cook it this way. Or for example, let's take the example of a lemongrass, for example. A lot of people are not familiar with it, perhaps, but it's very common in Asian cuisine. And one day I had a customer that I gave some to, and they were like, hey, Daphne, what is this? How do we do this? It's like a dry leaf that, didn't look like something you would be interested in. I said, no, make some tea out of it in the afternoon. You can either drink it as a cold beverage or a nice tea with your family. And you can add some ginger and, a couple spoon of honey in it. And I got some great feedback from it. He loved it so much that he said, well, I hope you will bring a few more every time, you drop off our share because it's something we really enjoy. So sometimes we have great feedback. Sometimes, the feedback is like, oh, maybe it was still awesome to try it, but perhaps next time we would not have it. So, it depends on the response of the customer, but at least you let them try something new. You let them try something that they've never had before. And they can either ask for more or they'll just, pass on it, but at least they tried it. During the COVID, when the COVID started, I think it affected anyone. I would say any business or any family in general. And we took it all really hard, especially for my family, being that the farm is the backbone of the family. in terms of making profit and helping to pay bills with it. We had a time where we almost lost all the customers just because we didn't really know what to expect. Because if we don't have any customers, we can't sell. And if most of those customers are either out of work or don't have any good immune system, they can't come out to the farmers markets, they cannot buy any vegetables. So it makes them either stay home and either switch to a local chain store in order to have their vegetables delivered. So we had to find a way to make our vegetables available to our customer, and hence why the delivery system we had to start with. And again, we started pretty much, something I just did at first. One, because I had just found out I was expecting. So at the same time, it was just kind of like all over the place. And me too, personally, I was afraid of the virus because I told myself, well, this is going to be really difficult. I don't want to be exposed to it. Being in the situation I am in, I want to make sure I'm healthy. So it made me put myself in the shoes of those customers. But then I also had to find a way to make ends meet. How can I still sell the vegetables with keeping myself healthy, with keeping the customers healthy as well? And that pretty much started with just doing the home deliveries, kind of like presenting that, to the customers. So having them like either pre-purchase the vegetables online through our barn to door account, which actually we had a lot of feedback from, because it's quite easy to use. And just also like the delivery system just helped us in general, because we're able to manage our orders easily, I would say, and our inventory, because now we know how much people are buying, what they don't like, what they like, and how much we can sell what we're growing in order to still make maximum profit from it. And I think the customers are even happy with that, because it dropped off in front of their home without them having to worry about going outside or coming to the farmers market to pick up their stuff. So they're not exposed to anything else. We don't even need to have close contact because it's already being done through our barn to door online store. So all you just do is drop off and you're out and about. So a few advice I will honestly give to other farmers, and this is just based on what I've personally learned with my family at school and just regular life and just the business in general, is to be open to, and you have to plan ahead of time. It's very important, especially when you're farming, because farming is unpredictable. It's just that easy. It's unpredictable. It will be hot today. It will be hot tomorrow. You may have, beautiful lettuce leaf, and tomorrow everything will be brown without even you understanding what just happened. So you have to be able to plan ahead of time, but then it's important for you to be flexible with your products. And that just it's not just for planting. Even with the customers, you have to make your customers understand that not everything is gonna go as planned. Sometimes you may say delivery is going to be at 3:00 and it's going to end up at 5. And, I think it goes back again to being communicative with them. If they understand your communication, they're more likely to understand your situation and still support you. And always be committed to your brand. The more authentic you are about your brand, about your story, the more people are going to come, and they're always going to bring either a friend or family that they would like to try. And that's how you pretty much grow your farm business, or just any business in general. Thank you so much for watching or for listening to this presentation. I hope that you have learned something about us, just our story in general, our farming practices, why we are doing what we do. And we hope that, or at least I hope that this will help other farmers as well. And just know that nothing just goes in vain. You're always gonna come up on top. You just need to figure it out how to do it. But you can definitely follow us on our social media and check out our website at your convenience. Thank you.